sat alone on the grand balcony of Zadora Palace, gazing out over the vast plains of his kingdom. The view was breathtaking, but his heart was heavy. He had been born to rule, yet there was a deep emptiness in him. A sense of longing that wealth, power, and influence could not fill. His father, King Adagba, had ruled Zadora with unwavering strength, and the Council of Elders had long been pushing for Obadiah to marry before his 25th birthday to secure the future of the throne. A prince must marry, his father had reminded him sternly, it is not just your duty but your destiny. But Obadiah wasn't so sure anymore. What if the woman he married didn't see him as a man, but only a crown? The thought troubled him deeply. His father's insistence that he marry a noblewoman was something he had learned to expect, but the older he became, the more he questioned the very idea of tradition. He didn't want to be loved for his title, but for the man he was. But was that possible? Determined to find his true love and escape the pressure of the palace, Obadiah hatched a plan. He would leave Zadora in secret, dressing as a commoner to live among the people. He hoped to find someone who could see past the crown and love him for himself. As night fell, he quietly packed a bag with just enough food and supplies to get by. His heart raced as he snuck out of the palace, avoiding the royal guards. The journey ahead was uncertain, but for the first time in his life, he felt a spark of hope. Days of travel brought Obadiah to Alagun, a modest village nestled on the outskirts of Zadora. The roads were dusty, and the scent of earth and firewood filled the air. It was nothing like the grandeur of Zadora. Here, the people worked hard, their lives shaped by sweat and struggle. Yet there was a beauty to it, a raw, unrefined strength he had never known in his palace. His stomach growled in hunger, and he approached a woman selling roasted yams by the side of the road. "I have no money," he said, feeling the pang of embarrassment, "but I am willing to work for food." The woman, Mama Bizi, studied him for a moment. His torn clothes and thin frame suggested a man who had seen hardship. Without a word, she handed him a warm yam. "Eat first. You will work later," she said kindly. Obadiah, overwhelmed by her generosity, sat on the ground and devoured the yam. It was a simple meal, but it tasted like freedom. For the first time in his life, Obadiah was forced to work with his hands. He carried water from the stream, chopped firewood, and helped tend the fields. His body, unused to such labor, ached with every movement, but he did not complain. The work grounded him in a way that the opulence of his palace never had. It was in this humble village that he met Iamide. She was everything he admired, intelligent, strong, and compassionate. Her laughter was like music, and her eyes sparkled with a quiet wisdom. She saw through his disguise, recognizing that there was more to him than the rough clothes he wore. He had no words to explain why he was there, but she didn't need them. It was enough to know that they shared a deep connection, one that could not be bought. As days turned into weeks, Obadiah and Iamide grew closer. They spent long hours talking and working side by side. Iamide had no interest in the trappings of nobility. She sought a man who was kind and true. Obadiah admired her strength, her ability to see beyond the surface of things. Still, he kept his true identity hidden. If she knew he was a prince, would she still love him? His fear of rejection gnawed at him. However, not everyone in Alagun was pleased with Obadiah's presence. Kola, the chief's son, had taken an interest in Iamide and saw the newcomer as a threat to his claim on her affection. Jealous and enraged, Kola began spreading rumors about Obadiah, accusing him of being a thief. "Beware of the stranger," Kola told the villagers. "He hides his true rags he wears." One night, Kola accused Obadiah of stealing from the chief's storeroom. A crowd gathered as Kola shouted, "If you are innocent, prove it. Show us who you really are." Obadiah, with his heart racing, stood before the villagers. Their eyes, once filled with acceptance, now held suspicion. Iamide stepped forward. I have worked beside this man every day. He has done nothing but labor honestly. I believe him. Just as tensions reached their peak, Baba Kunal, an elder in the village, approached Obadiah. He said softly, I know who you are, my prince. In an instant, Obadiah's secret was out. The villagers stared in disbelief as the truth spread like wildfire. Obadiah, the stranger they had come to respect, was the crown prince of Zadora. Kola's eyes blazed with fury, and Iamide felt a sting of betrayal. You lied to me, she whispered, her voice filled with hurt. Before Obadiah could explain, royal guards arrived, sent by his father to bring him home. Iamide turned away, her heart broken, unable to look at him. Back at the palace, the king was furious. You have disgraced this family, Obadiah. King Adagba thundered. You will marry a noblewoman as tradition dictates. But Obadiah refused. His heart belonged to Iamide, not some noblewoman chosen for political reasons. Meanwhile, Kola was not done. His jealousy festered, and with the help of his allies in the council, he began plotting to overthrow the king and take the throne for himself. The elders, fearing the unrest caused by Obadiah's actions, devised a test. Iamide would have to prove her worthiness through a series of trials, tests of intelligence, moral integrity, and endurance. They believed that if she could withstand the trials, she might be worthy of Obadiah's love and the throne. The trials were grueling, and many noblewomen mocked Iamide, believing she would fail. But Iamide faced them all with dignity, pushing through each challenge with grace and wisdom. She knew that she had to prove not only her worth as Obadiah's love but as a future queen of Zadora. As Iamide persevered through the trials, Kola and his conspirators struck. One night, they launched a coup, and the palace descended into chaos. Warriors loyal to the traitors clashed with royal guards. Obadiah, desperate to protect his family and his kingdom, fought with all his might, but the traitors were relentless. Iamide, always resourceful, helped turn the tide. Her knowledge of the palace and its defenses gave Obadiah and his forces the advantage. Kola's plans crumbled, and he was exposed as the true villain. After the dust settled, the council finally acknowledged Iamide's worth. The trials had been tough, but she had not only passed them but had proven herself in battle. King Adagba, though still resistant, relented. A woman who fights for love and kingdom is worthy to be queen, he grudgingly declared. And so, Obadiah and Iamide were united in marriage. Their love story became a legend in Zadora, a tale of resilience, love, and sacrifice. The wedding of Obadiah and Iamide was a grand